Hello, good morning. I am going to my acupuncture appointment, so I'm going to talk to you after that about what this appointment entails and what the plan is. And then after that, I'm going to go over my scan results with you. I know I had it done last week, so I haven't gotten to make a video about that yet, but that will be after the appointment, and then we're going to chit chat some more. Okay, so I will see you later. I just got out of my acupuncture treatment. I started doing acupuncture last week, and I mentioned it in one of my videos where I met somebody that had recommended her to me. This person, she practices traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM, and so she also does herbs and in conjunction with the acupuncture. So TCM is kind of like chiropractic care, I would say, because it varies so much. There are practitioners that are amazing and they really know what they're doing. And then there are ones that are not so great, not so experienced. So you kind of have to just depend on who you're seeing in order to benefit from it, because sometimes it could really be a hoax, I think. In California, I did do acupuncture and it was covered through my health plan at the time, but here we don't have it. So I was pretty excited to find her and to go to her. And last Wednesday was the first time I went there. Before I even said anything about me, she looked at my ear and my tongue, because that's usually what they do. They usually check your pulse and things like that. So her assessment was really on point. I mean, it was interesting that she mentioned all of the areas that I had surgery, like my skull and my neck and my legs, as weak points. And then I also had some other problems that she didn't know about, that she never would have known about unless I told her, but she mentioned those. So that gave me a lot of confidence that she definitely knew what she was doing. And the person that recommended me to her had all good things to say. So after the session, I felt extremely tired and I slept like a baby that night. So whatever it was definitely seemed to help, because I felt so much better the next day and into the whole week. She also gave me some herbs mixed with like 10 different things, and she said that my kidneys were weak and needed support, and that's where the bone health really comes from, is from your kidneys. And I have so many bone metastases. So she wanted to give me something to support my kidneys. She wanted me to have my liver supported because I'm taking so many off-label drugs along with supplements. So it's good for detox. And then she wanted to support my appetite. She told me I was too skinny, which I am. And so to support my spleen, to help my appetite. And just in the last week, I actually gained about 3 pounds. I'm 103. I was stuck at 100 pounds for a long time, for like at least the past month or two. And I really just haven't been able to gain weight. And I guess my appetite hasn't been great. So I've been eating mostly just 2 meals a day. I can't really stomach more than that. But lately I've been definitely, I think, eating about 3 meals a day, or at least two main ones and then a lighter meal in between. And I'm still trying to eat within a short window so I can intermittent fast. But I found myself being more hungry lately and just enjoying food more. So I definitely think whatever she's giving me is working. I just have to mix it up with some warm water and drink it. It's very easy and it tastes really good. I've also still been continuing the ginger shots and some of the juicing. It actually hasn't spiked my sugar very much because it's very low sugar. He's adding a lot of ginger and turmeric in there, so it's pretty potent. I've still been wearing my continuous glucose monitor, just trying to manage my glucose spikes as much as possible, and it's been improving. Actually, my fasting glucose has gone down and the baseline has seemed to be a little bit lower than what it was when I first started. So it could be from just staying on a low carbohydrate diet. Wearing the glucometer really, really helps for me to see things firsthand, like as soon as I eat or exercise. So I'm going to make a separate video about that once I wear it for a longer period of time and I can kind of report what I've noticed, but it's really cool. The other thing she wants me to do She gave me this little massager that I can put on my foot at certain points. In TCM, they have this whole map of your foot with different pressure points. So she wanted me to help support my lymphatic flow at certain points of the foot. And then there are certain cancer spots too that she wants me to massage daily or as much as I can. She also wanted me to sit in sunlight for at least half an hour a day between 10 a.m. to noon and just have the sun on my back, which I mean, we all know that we can benefit from. So these are great and helpful tips, and I'm definitely going to start doing it during my lunch breaks and just to try to incorporate some more of these things into healing. I know that I'm doing a lot, but I really have been feeling very peaceful lately, pretty zen. So I'm going to keep doing this. So I'm outside of Whole Foods right now, and I just got my last cup of Starbucks coffee, almond milk latte. So cheers. I'm gonna enjoy this very last cup because it's gonna be the last cup I drink. So tomorrow I'm gonna start quitting coffee, and it's interesting because I actually just ran out of coffee at home and I was gonna buy more, but now I'm not going to. So that's a sign, and say goodbye. I'm also gonna pick up some food in there, and I found this really good yogurt alternative. I don't really have dairy because I'm lactose intolerant and dairy is inflammatory. So I found this yogurt that is made of coconut, and it's super high in fat. It has like 26 grams of fat or so, and then it's really low carbs and has a little bit of protein in it, and it's organic. So I really like it. It's a Harmless Harvest brand, I believe. So I'm going to pick up some of that and some other things that I need. And I want to get a card for my kids' teachers with some gift cards because today is the very last day of school. In Atlanta, school ends in May and then begins in August. So I'm going to be busy. I don't know what to do with them yet, but on the days that I'm off now, I'm no longer going to be off because my little kitties are going to be with me. So I don't know how I'm going to find time to film these YouTube videos, but I guess where there's a will, there's a way. We're probably going to put them in camp for some of the days and maybe sign them up for gymnastics and mixed martial arts, which I've been wanting to do. Maybe some music lessons like piano or something. I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out. But it's gonna be a long and fun summer with my kids. So yeah, I just really wanted to get their teachers some cards and a gift card to show them that we really appreciate them and all the gratitude for taking care of them this whole school year. Next year they're going to kindergarten. I just can't believe how fast time flies, and I just have to keep hugging them, until they don't want to hug me anymore. All right, I'll see you guys later. So these are my scans, and I'm going to go over the results of what I just got done. So the scan on the left side you see here was from May 11th, and the one on the right side was from April 14th. This was not exactly 6 weeks because I did have the original scans that were done in the beginning of April. So that this scan is supposed to be a 6-week follow-up to that when they found that leptomeningeal spread, otherwise known as the lesion that is in the epidural space. So you can see here these are the bones, and they're called vertebras. There are 12 levels in the thoracic spine. So they're all numbered, and this one is the one that is the level 3 or T3 we call it. And this is the culprit because as you can see here, there's this little white spot. This is the epidural space. Okay, so the white spot here is the tumor, the lesion that they found in the epidural space. And I think it's because it kind of broke through the bone and just invaded the space here. And you can see here on the left side that it's present here. They look pretty similar in size, and I did measure them out, and it looks like it was pretty stable. And the radiologist read that as well. You can see here that there's nothing in the space. So this is what it's supposed to look like, but here is the tumor. So you can also see that I have a lot of bony metastases, and these look like Swiss cheese, my poor spine. I have it all over in the cervical, the thoracic, and the lumbar spine. But this is just a thoracic spine MRI. So you can see all of the bony lesions here, and on this side, they look pretty stable, and it's pretty hard to tell if they're healing or if they are active because they grow very slowly, and sometimes it takes multiple scans for me to really see a difference, and you can see it eroding through the bones here. So mostly every scan that I've gotten so far, they've been reading that they're stable, but there are so many that we have to keep track of. So I do like to look at my own scans and just to kind of compare them side by side and see how they are. But yeah, so this is the lesion, and I thought that would be interesting to show you guys how these scans look. As I was going over my scan results last week, I couldn't really help but be disappointed. I know that it was stable, and that's really great, but for some reason in my mind I expected for there to be some sort of shrinkage, or maybe it disappeared. And so just seeing that it's still there after all of the hard work that I've been doing was pretty disappointing. And I know that I really shouldn't complain, and stable is really great. And I know that there's only been 4 weeks in between the scans, so things are going to be slow and it's not going to just change quickly like that. But I really reflected on my thoughts and why I felt so disappointed. And at that moment, God spoke to me, and the words that came out were faith and hope and surrender. And I just wondered about it. What is faith? What is hope? What is surrendering? What does all of that mean? And why did He want me to dig deeper into it? I was going through my Bible, because usually that's what I do when I get lost, and I just want to read the Word and explore and just see what comes to mind. And that's really what brings me peace. So as I was learning about faith, and this is for all of you who aren't Christian as well, I mean, I really think that there's a lot of wisdom in the words in the Bible, and it really gives us good instruction to live, whether you're a believer or not. I think that this pertains to all of us, and faith is something that we all have, that we're all born with, and it's something that is God's gift to us. In the Bible, in Hebrews 11:1, it says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen." And it also talks about how we walk in faith and not by sight. So what does that mean? The substance of things hoped for. Faith is not really like blind faith. It's not just being gullible and believing in whatever and having no reason for it. Biblical faith talks about a lot of different stories of these people that were chosen by God, that He commanded to go and do things. For example, like Abraham leaving his land to go to the land that God promised him. And he did that despite all of the difficulties and the obstacles that he came across, but he remained faithful that God would fulfill His promise. So this is kind of what faith is. It's this substance of things hoped for. So it's something that you believe in because you have a reason to believe it. And this is all about God's character and about His promises that He has written in the Bible for us to see. And so if we trust Him and we believe in His words and His promises, and that His words are true, then we can have faith in the things that we have not yet seen. So to walk in faith and not by sight means that these substances, these things, you may have not seen them come to fruition yet. And sometimes you can live your whole life and not actually see things come to fruition as God had promised, but you're living it anyway knowing that this is about eternity and not about just life on earth right now. For me, in terms of my healing, I just reflect back on all of the times that I've had complications with my cancer and in the moments that I was so close to death. And in those moments, I chose to trust God. I chose to have faith. And I chose to surrender to Him because I know that His way is higher than my ways and His thoughts are higher than my thoughts. I had a lot of struggles trying to control things, especially with the cancer, because the unknown is very scary, and not knowing how your results are going to be, if it's going to be one day good and one day bad, and suddenly death is at your door. It's very scary to be living with cancer because you're in this constant state of the unknown and this fear that something bad is going to happen. But the only way that you can really combat that is if you have faith, because faith is rooted in love and it really overrides fear. Because when you trust God and His words and His promises, and He promises healing, and He promises that He's going to do things for your good. And so you have to trust that He knows what He's doing. And all of those times that I had a grip on things, white-knuckled grip on things, and I want things to go my way. I want to be healed in this time, in this way, in this circumstance, based on what I want. Things just never really go that way. And then I get disappointed and hurt. And that leads to pain and suffering because I'm not surrendering. I'm trying to control things. And life doesn't work that way because no matter how much you try to control things, some things just don't happen the way that you want them to. And things like cancer unexpectedly comes about. You might have financial issues. You could have problems with your marriage. Whatever it is, you just don't really know until it happens. So the whole point of faith is really just stepping out and realizing that God is good, that He has promises that He made for us, and we need to just hear His voice and to follow whatever it is that He's telling us to do and to be obedient to that. Just pray about everything, right? They say in the Bible, don't worry about anything, pray about everything. And that's so true because the anxiety and the worry does nothing. It does nothing for you. It just makes you more tense and fearful, and it brings nothing good to your life. And I know it's so hard to not worry. I know. I've been there and I'm still there, and I really, really try hard not to worry. And I know sometimes you just can't stop worrying, but the more that I pray and the more that I stay in the Word, the more I can remind myself of God's promises, and the more I can feel at peace, because that's what He brings, is He brings peace. And maybe things will not go my way, but I know from past experiences that whatever God has done in my life is way, way, way better than what I could have ever imagined myself. I never thought that I would be here. I never thought that I would be able to overcome all of these surgeries and these challenges, and to be able to bounce back and to be able to function the way I do. I mean, I'm going to the gym 4 days a week and I'm doing weight training. I had femur replacements in both of my legs, and right after that, I couldn't even bend down. My legs were so stiff, and my hips, and I could barely even bend over to pick something up. I couldn't squat. I can't sit cross-legged. I just have no range of motion, and my legs were so weak from all the muscle atrophy. But here I am almost a year later, and I'm going to the gym and doing squats with barbells and doing step-ups. And I mean, it's just insane how much I have improved. After the brain surgery, I had loss of function, my voice, my swallowing, weakness, and that also has improved tremendously. And it's only been a few months. Imagine what God is going to do in my life. Imagine when He is going to give me the healing that I need, that I want, that I'm striving for. but he does it in his own time. And like I said, he does it better than if I were to try to do anything myself. And so the message for today is really just, I know that if you're going through a tough time right now and you may be getting bad scan results, you may be not getting the results that you want, your health may be in decline, you may be having relationship problems, whatever it is, it's the faith. And I think that that changes everything. But we have to just pray about it every day. And every day we have to surrender. Because if we don't surrender, then we're not open to receive what God may give us. I just have been praying a lot, and I've been really studying the Bible a lot, and I really think that that helps so much with my mental health and with putting my mind at ease, because I know that no matter what happens, I'm just going to keep sticking with what I'm doing, and even if I don't see the results yet, it's going to come soon because my God is faithful. If you don't believe in God, and if you're not religious and you're not a believer, I still encourage for you to surrender, because when you try to control things and it doesn't work out the way that you want it to, it always brings disappointment. When you are more willing to accept the unknown and just kind of live in this mystery of what we call life, and to surrender yourself to whatever may happen, you just have less friction and it's a lot more free flowing, and anything can kind of come up and it's not going to bother you because you didn't have any expectations, and you would just be surprised with what may come your way. Well, thank you all for listening, and I will see you in my next video. Okay? All right, bye.